My name is Willette Wilkerson.
And I'm Rhoda Whitfield.
And we are the Women of Wisdom. We are so glad to be back with you again to do this telecast. We've been gone for a minute, but we have been doing other things. So today we are excited to be with you and to bring you a topic today that we think is going to be extremely exciting. We're talking about on-the-job training, OJT. Does anyone know anything about OJT, on-the-job training? And I guess you might be asking yourself, well, what does OJT have to do with marriage? Well, you know, when we think about on-the-job training, we think about going into a job with your experience, your background knowledge, your education, and you take all of that to a job, and they are going to take you through a training. And a lot of jobs will pay you while you are training on the job. But we want you to know that there is not a prerequisite. There is not a living arrangement that will give you on-the-job training for marriage.
Amen. Living together, Willette, what I want our listeners to understand is that even though you choose to live together, that does not set you up to get a feel of what marriage is all about. And, you know, when you look at living together, you have two different couples. You have the couple that they're living together for convenient purposes.
Just tired of getting up, going to my own house.
Yeah, they don't want to go to their own house. They want to just stay the night. They want to just have everything conveniently available to them. They split the rent. They split the utilities.
Okay.
This is my money. That's your money. That's your car note, my car note. And so basically, they're in a situation where if they get tired, they can just up and leave.
Like a roommate situation.
Right. It's a roommate situation with benefits. But then there's another couple.
Okay.
And that couple is a couple, they are moving in the right direction together. And they choose to live together. But they are focusing on the fact that we're going to go in the godly way. When they go into a living arrangement, they are looking at each other as, this is my future wife. This is my future husband.
Okay.
And they're trying to educate themselves so that they can be that godly woman, that godly man. And that's the difference in those two situations.
But I think in both situations, we don't want either couple to allow living together to give them a misread of marriage, because it's really not an on-the-job training for marriage. And the reason I say that is because your living conditions, living together without marriage, you're really operating under the plan of Satan. And so he's not going to throw the attacks to you as he would a couple that has come into an agreement with God to live together in marriage.
And see, and they don't understand that. The devil has no concern. You are living exactly like he wants you to live. Now, when you opt and you choose to go before God, family, and friends and exchange your vows and go into a covenant with God, now the enemy is going to attack. And here is the point that is very important to get educated. Don't go into a marriage feeling, because there's no manual.
That's right.
There's no manual that says do it this particular way.
Like you would get on the job training.
Now, this is on the job training. And so now you were living together and y'all were getting along just fine. But we have to now move from, this is my money, your money, here's my half of the rent.
I got my half.
Okay, let's pay our rent.
Okay.
No, it's now our money. And my aunt has an old saying, it's our money.
It's our money.
It's our money.
Right.
So if I'm broke, you broke.
Okay. So
you got money, I got money.
Right. So you're saying we should be moving into oneness.
Into oneness.
Oneness.
And we can't go into oneness until we are God ordains our marriage.
Absolutely.
And we go into a covenant, because that's when oneness is developed.
Absolutely.
He expects us to be one. See, when we're living together, we are two imperfect people just living together. Now we get married, we're still two imperfect people,
but we are
but we're now into a perfect union.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is how you receive the blessings of God. So to put it in plain terms where they might understand, it's like having insurance. You know, it's like, you know, if you're living together, just shacking together, you kind of got the PIP. But if you are married, you got full coverage. That does not mean you're not going to have trouble, but that means your plan is going to cover you.
That's right.
You're going to be covered. So when the enemy come against you, God got a way of escape. He has already planned a way of escape for you, and he already has your back. He already has it worked out. The battle is not yours. But when you're living as individuals and you're not in that covenant relationship with God, then you got to just struggle through every situation, every circumstance, not knowing how you're going to come out. I go through hard times, but I don't worry about how I'm going to get through to the other side, because I know God got me and my husband.
Right. And at this point, with the time that both of us have been married, we have been through enough to know God has shown himself mighty and great. And he's shown us he has the ability to bring us through.
Yeah.
And so all we have to do is just be still and wait. Now, if he brings us to it, he's going to take us through it.
Absolutely.
But when you look at a newlywed couple, they want everything in their life is microwave. They want everything to be quick and in a hurry.
Yes.
And marriage is like making some homemade soup. It's got to simmer.
Okay. And you got to throw a whole lot in it.
A whole lot of ingredients.
A whole lot got to go in it.
And some ingredients you might say, I don't like that flavor. And the next time you make it, you might omit it. But it's got to simmer to get the flavor that you want to savor.
Come on, somebody.
Okay. So, with that being said, I feel that newlywed couples need to line themselves up with couples that have demonstrated marital wisdom.
Right. You know, Rhoda, when we first started talking about this on-the-job training and how it relates to marriage, you and I both was trying to think of couples that did not go this route, that did not live together prior to marriage, and we couldn't think of anyone, including ourselves in some form of shacking.
Right.
So it seems to be the way of work, but we just want to help educate people to understand how to get the full blessings that God has for your life on your life. Because the Word of God says in Deuteronomy 28 that if we diligently seek God's voice, then he will not only bring us blessings won't just come on us, they will overtake us. And I want the kind of blessings that's just going to overtake me.
Okay.
So
I want them on the shelf blessings, the ones that you can just lift up and bring down.
Yes. So I'm hoping that we can help someone, because we didn't have a manual. No one else has a manual for marriage. And so I'm hoping that we can just help someone in understanding that you don't have to get a false reading of this is what it's going to be like when we get married. Let's just live together. No, that is not the on-the-job training that you need for marriage. It's not going to properly prepare you for marriage.
And you know something? I think they also, our listening audience, need to understand this. They may feel that living together is 24/7. But shacking comes in other forms.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Shacking can be that you just don't feel like getting up going home tonight. You spend the night. It's convenient. You're there. He's there. And you don't get up and you go. If you do that so many times out of the week, so many times out of the month, that's equivalent to shacking.
All right.
Now, here's the other benefit of that one that they think they have. I don't have to share your rent.
Hello, somebody.
I'm just spending
the night.
I'm just taking advantage of the situation.
I'm just filling up some free air. You're right. You're absolutely right. And so that's a selfish way of looking at it. So you need to even question that person's motive. And do you want to be connected to that person?
That's right.
For life.
One thing they need to remember is everything we do in life has to have a why.
Exactly.
And when you live with someone, there needs to be a why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why am I here?
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to achieve? Now you have, like I said earlier, you have two couples.
Right.
You have couple number one, they live together, and it's for convenient purposes. Okay. And if they don't like it, next week, they may be living with someone else.
Right.
Couple number two, they have a why. Mm-hmm. They said from the onset that this is going to be my wife, this is going to be my husband. They've already identified their spouse.
Walking with a common goal.
Right.
Okay.
They know in 5 years they want to be married, they want to have children, they want to be financially set, they want a new home. Mm-hmm. Go back to couple number one.
They just want to be together.
That's all. They want everything at their fingertip.
Mm-hmm. So they want to practice marriage,
but they want
they want the benefits of being married, but they don't want the commitment of being married.
They don't want the commitment.
Okay, so Rhoda, let me see if you can help me. Let's say that I am now engaged. I live with my fiance. We want the blessings of God upon our life, and we are going to get married. I know that he's going to be my husband, and we have started making plans on how to save money together. What advice would you give me for moving into that oneness that you talked about earlier?
I still would say that person needs to be educated. You know, when I got married, there was not a lot offered for a married couple. Okay. There was really not even any premarital counseling.
You're right.
So these are things, counseling, getting premarital counseling.
Okay.
Getting involved in your church couples ministry, going to couples retreats, just putting yourself in an environment that is dealing strictly with couples. It makes no sense if you're saying you're engaged for you and your fiance to still be going to singles ministry.
Oh, okay. So I don't have to actually wait till I'm married to start educating myself about marriage.
No.
Okay. All right. I can
Get
see
books,
where that will help me.
Read, educate yourself.
Okay. I can see where that will help me. And hopefully it will help you too. So what we are basically saying is that you want to take on marriage in the way that God planned for you to take on marriage. Marriage is a wonderful thing. Marriage is not for everyone, but marriage is a good thing for everyone that takes it on, because marriage was ordained by God. So if he ordained it, he blessed it. And that's what you want over your life.
Okay. Well, we sure hope we help someone today. And the next time we record, we're going to have some guests in the studio with us that are newlyweds, and maybe they can give you their perspective and give you a better understanding of what we're talking about regarding on-the-job training. So for now, we want to say, keep it tight and keep it right.
Have a good day.